So welcome everyone in Calgary right here and those who are out there. I'm sure there'll be a lot more joining in. As usual, Thursday again, and this time is kind of fun because we are going to talk about the soul and the promise. So many people have had this question, and we just use the word soul a lot. So what does it really mean? Is it, do we mean the mind? Do we mean it's some power, electricity? Do we mean God? Do we mean some universal force? Or what is the soul? So today we will experience it. And we will see what you think of it, how you would define it after you experience. We also talk about the mind as to what is the mind, So collection of thoughts, where do you get these thoughts from? Where are you getting feelings from? What are emotions? Is there a difference between feelings and emotions? So anyone at all, is there?
No, I think the soul is the true self.
Okay, soul is the true self, yeah. Mm-hmm. And what would the feelings be? Are they emotions or... Because we use both these words, right? Yeah. And we use it to almost like when it comes to the heart, everything is, I don't feel it, I don't feel like doing it. Our lives are guided by our feelings. So guided by thoughts, but a lot more by feelings, because we can think of something that we should do, or we ought to, or we not to, but however, the feelings seem to override, because the emotion is so large, the feeling is in the body, whereas thought could just be in one part of the mind, one may say, right?
I read an article online a while ago about that, and the reason why emotions tend to dominate more feelings is because the way the brain is structured, and we have that part of the brain that deals with emotions and feelings is larger.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, physically larger than the other parts.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So we went along.
Yeah,
So
feelings seem to have.
Time kind of managing.
Yes, yes.
Containing it, or that to that degree, and why thoughts, why logic doesn't override everything.
Yeah, yeah. So feelings seem to take over. They seem to be stronger. So when it comes to emotions, it's, what does emotion mean? It's just energy in motion. Energy in motion. So your body is energy, 100% energy, pure energy. And any movement in there would be emotion. It's energy in motion. But the awareness of what's happening. So you know how you get a knot in the stomach and you feel really tight, or it makes you nervous and does many other things to you. So that is happening at a physiological level to you, right? So it's energy in motion. Something is happening, moving in your physiology. But the awareness of that, awareness that I'm feeling it in my gut, it doesn't feel right, I'm feeling sick, I'm feeling afraid, that awareness of emotion is the feeling. So feeling is simply just awareness of what is moving, what is happening. Yeah, they're not separate. There's basically just a sense of awareness that we all have. Now, interpretation could be different, but each one feels it and tells it differently that this is happening. So pain in the toe, that's energy in motion. How we see that I'm having pain in my toe, I can't walk, this part is hurting, the awareness of that becomes a feeling. It's a feeling. Yeah?
So, but the emotion is coming more from by the mind, right?
Emotion is coming from physiological body. Because it's something moving.
Okay. So your mind and body are both intertwined,
Yeah.
right? So that you can't really separate. If you say where's the mind and where's the body, it's all twined.
But it's more like physically twined, because I thought opposite of the mind is is the like kind of the soul, like your true self. So
No,
the
but
mind is kind of,
if you say like right now, there's three things driving you: it's the physical body, you know, so your cells, your bones, your blood, you know, the physical stuff, and the programming, which is the mind, you know, and the soul part. There's three. All three are intertwined in each and every cell right now. If I was to separate your soul, you can't really separate your soul because you're alive, right? So when we die, that's when the soul separates from the body. But right now, there's all three intertwined. So even when you say mind, when you really get scared, right, there's a physiological effect in the body, and some people even have loose motions, right? So it's such a strong effect. So it's all intertwined. So it's like three different bodies which are all intertwined, you know. So.
but is it if you say like
Yes.
Ruby was saying, then you should kind of find the essence behind, so you can actually the observer, right? I thought the
Observer.
observer
Yes,
is
yes.
kind of the soul
Yeah.
part, but the mind is kind of, I don't know. I think
Okay.
it's,
So the mind will have different dimensions and levels too. So imagine multiple dimensions, not one, not three, not many, maybe, that we're not aware of. So the mind at every level seems to understand things and see things differently. So it's like having a 14-story building. So what you see from the ground floor will be different. What you perceive from the basement floor will be different. Now you go to the third floor, not only are you seeing differently, but you can actually, it's a different effect. It's a whole dynamic difference, right? Because you can see that things are moving, you can see the birds, you can hear, even the sound becomes different at a different level. So when space changes, interdimension space, the soul space, what happens is we see things differently. And we as human beings, whatever we see is our reality. And we act from that. It's really simple. So if I can see it, I can work with that. Okay? That becomes my reality. If I don't see it, then it's not part of my reality yet. But when you go to the 6th floor and then 10th, or maybe the top floor, the highest floor, things look really different. Not only do you can see it from the top, you can see quite a few dimensions. So also the mind has various dimensions. So at a highest level or the higher levels, we can call it the soul also. Yeah.
but when you die,
Yeah.
the body, I thought the mind dies with the body and only the soul goes on.
No, the mind always is there. So if you could, the mind always remains because that's part of consciousness. Whenever you think of some reality, you've created some reality, that reality has a place in space and time. 10,000 years later, I'm not just talking about incarnations, I'm talking about the space itself, that all of this, any thought, any feeling, any action is recorded in space history. So we could go back and actually tune in and pick up events. Now, a lot of mystics would draw from there, right? Because they could see differently, they could download, they could understand, they could interpret, look at things. After thousands of years, they could say that this is possible, that was then that, this is now, which scientists are now coming to that, yes, we can actually, all space is programmed. It has not conditioned, it is programmed with information. There's information throughout space, and we can download that information. So is the mind alive at all times? 100%.
See, it's in computer, like if you look at a computer, right? It's the hard disk, the physical stuff is your body, and the programming which is running the computer, right? The software is your mind. And the electricity or power battery which is generating or powering the system is your soul. So there's all three things are making this computer run, right? So, but all three are needed to make the programs run. If you separate, even take one out, you won't be able to run the systems. So in our physical sense, when we are seeing and experiencing this world, is through your mind. Because senses are part of your mind, right? Like Ruby said, when you look at things, perceive it. So it's all as per a perception. So we all are perceiving things differently. So that's our mind's programming.
That's our mind's also the soul, the power. So call it the soul. At the higher level, mystics called it the soul. And then religious people called it God mind, the God, right? But when you come, then we say, okay, it's the naughty mind, the monkey mind. So that means that mind is not trained yet. It's just out of control, some robotic function. There doesn't seem to be a soul in that mind. But these are just terminologies. Now let us look at the physical body. What is the physical body? It's trillions of cells, hundreds of trillions of cells. Now each cell has a mind. So what does that mean? It's not like there's Ruby in every mind, Ruby thinking in every mind. It is like an antenna that can access, that has information of the entire universe and everything else. Everything. So every cell that makes up the human body, this is the physical body I'm talking about, just at the physical level, every cell has a mind because it's tuned into the universe. So it's got trillions and trillions of minds in the body. So if you look at it, that's what gives us power. That can destroy us if it's not honed in, if it's not tuned, if we're not aligned to the higher principles or some higher form of living. And we can get destroyed and we can create anything. So it's all about the human journey, and that seems to be our very purpose on this earth. It's not just to make a hospital. Yes, that could be part of it. It's not just to make a few schools. It is actually to be able to recognize what we are, not who we are as a person, but what we are, and then to use that entire force for creative purposes.
So which part is leaving it like an astral travel? You know, when something is leaving the body, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't go everywhere.
Yeah.
What is that then? Is
So
that the mind or the soul?
it's
or
the whole thing.
Both
Whole
the
thing.
mind
but
and
the
the
body
Yeah.
is still back
The
there,
body-
so the part, or
No,
what
the
is-
body seems to be there. The body seems to be there, sitting like we seem to be sitting here, but we have many dimensions.
It's like a holographic
Yeah.
body, right? Like we think it's a physical body, but it's like an energy body, which is holographic. So it's transferring your whole system and energy systems, right? So we're like a information antennas where it's like an antenna where we emit this energy. So even the physical body doesn't really stop here when you see the aura, right? The physical magnetic field, it just expands out. And the power we have is, like you said, you could you could even separate, you could see your body separately too. You could see if you are on that different level. So like we were saying, there's different levels of mind. Like when you're in really anger or some emotional mode, you can't really differentiate. So it's a level where you're so tuned into yourself that you can't really separate yourselves. People lose awareness, you know. You have these road rages where people just totally lose awareness, just kill each other, right, or hate each other.
So if many of you out there are recognizing somebody's voice, you know it's in there who's present on Thursday night here. So just one more example I wanted to give to you. If you're watching a movie, right, when you're watching the screen, and you can see Michael Jackson dancing, or you can, whatever act is going on, Michael Jackson is not on the stage. It's a projection, right? It's being projected. So that is exactly how the human organism works. So I seem to be here, but I could be anywhere, everywhere. Because I have so many dimensions and it's a whole different projection system, right? So what seems to be fixated, like one place, is not.
So if that body lies there, you could touch it and you still feel it though, right?
Yes, you could feel it, and yet you could be everywhere else too.
So what happens when you're sleeping, right?
Mind-boggling.
Even when you're sleeping, when you're in the dream state, right? The mind is not sleeping, the consciousness is not sleeping. So people, when they have experiences during the dream state, the same experience, the same physical experience. You know, people go to this fear motion or love motion. it's as intense as a awake situation.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's real.
So it's real.
So dreams are real. It's another reality, another dimension.
So
Yeah.
then you can have the option to choose
Yes.
different levels then. But
Yes. So now this is the spiritual development. And this is very interesting. We have knowledge. What does knowledge do? What does education do? It broadens our horizon, our mind space. So we learn more. We're learning more. So knowledge basically expands you horizontally. But self-development, spiritual development with meditation takes you vertically. So you're able to see more. Hi. You're able to comprehend more. And as you understand more, you're able to create more realities. You're able to say, oh, this also is there. I didn't see this. I didn't know that I can be here and not here. Or what I'm feeling is just one feeling, but I could choose from hundreds of feelings. Did you know there's thousands of feelings? Not just 5, 6, 10 feelings that we choose. Because people only know sadness, they know fear, they know anger, they know about 5, 6 feelings really well. But there's thousands of feelings. Imagine the power to be able to choose a feeling that you want for that moment and not being a victim to what is just coming through. So there's two aspects. When we want to spiritually develop, what do? We go into deeper states of meditation and where we could examine, where you can examine soulfully as to, oh yeah, that exists, this is the feeling I get, this is what I saw. So you can make sense of that too. That is the meditative state. So meditation is not just not being present. It's not just I got lost, I didn't know where I was, then I came back. It's not a void. It's basically just being one with the interiors, with all the dimensions, right? Being very present.
I think it's the opposite, where you're actually awake.
You're more awake, more conscious in a meditation than any other state. So meditation is to stay awake, feel more aliveness. We will see today. Today we're not just going to talk, we'll actually go through this and you'll see how it works. And to feel that. So this is what meditation does. And then understand. Now understanding comes also spontaneously, naturally, because like I said, as you see, so you can create. So if you're seeing changes, if you see differently, you will create different things. So we can recognize our multi-dimensional soul, self, call it whatever we may. But we need to use language, and language only has so many words. So when I say God, everybody kind of interprets it, what they know of God. It'll never seem like water, right? Because water is now given, it's a different definition, it looks different. So the problem with language is sometimes that we can only experience what we understand that word could mean. We can't understand beyond that. So that's why, again, when we go into the deeper states, the higher states, we don't really use language. We may just use a little bit of language to nudge, so to remain present, just to remain present. So if we're guiding you in the meditation, it's just so you're not just swaying, you're not moving from your position, you're staying very present. But what you experience is going to be in symbols, sometimes in pictures, sometimes through silence, whatever. So everybody will have their own way of communicating and understanding. And that is the miraculous power of the soul. That you understand it totally differently, just the way you want to. So my words may not fit you after you've had your experience, and they needn't be that fit.
So I was just wondering, with meditation, I really feel like I'm really there and that it's deep. However, I find it really hard to get out of it, and I feel like I just had a big exercise hour behind me or something. I just really kind of drained.
Yes, yeah. So what probably happens is that you go deeper, and then somehow, because you also have a deep desire to meditate, so it just lingers for a while. So sometimes it's good, maybe you want to do it at night, want to do it when you have time to sleep it through. So it's working for you, right? Not on a busy time. And you can just do, we'll show you some techniques
So if you do
today.
it at night, you go into sleep after that, you'll see your dream patterns changing.
Yeah, your dreams will,
You'll
yeah.
see that. You'll experience that. You'll remember your dreams. You'll see, okay, and you'll have very profound dreams where you'll actually get lots of, information through your dream states.
Yeah. So you will have that information. You will have also some understanding what it could mean, because there's so much clarity. There's so much clarity. So another thing is that so when I mean the lower states of the mind, this is rooted in belief systems. Because when we are children, we are taught like that. This is a hat, this is a tree, that is a crow. Crow does this, the tree does this. So we are taught by word. So that means the crow cannot do anything but fly. Only that black thing will look like a crow, So that's kind of the programming, right? So we learn kind of differently. But when we get to this, and we learn by belief systems, because we are told to believe that black is black, black will never become white, right? So it's a belief system. We are all taught by beliefs. So now when we get older, and those beliefs are really hard to change without feeling some kind of terrible resistance. Resistance could be, sometimes there's even shame when you want to change a belief. For instance, your belief in God, your belief in church, your belief in the scriptures, or something like that. Morality, what is right, what is wrong. So there's this terrible resistance and a war going on because you believed that this is how you should be, but your natural self wants to experience everything because that's how it grows. So as you get to the higher floors, you get to see there's no judge there. There's no jury there. There's just a witness. The judge and the jury remain only till here. So this is the belief systems. This is where what is right, what is wrong, what is evil, right? And when you leave these mental, physical realms into deeper mind states, and pure energy, all of a sudden the judgment suspends. That doesn't mean that you will be a good person or this person or that person. There's nothing such as that goodness. So a lot of people have aim to be a good person. What does that really mean, being a good person? Everybody defines that differently too, right? What does good mean? So what we are, actually we, in spiritual life, we want a full life. So that is why you have the freedom as you get into higher states. You're able to do a lot more with lot less inhibitions and lot less stress. Because you're not worried about shame. You're not worried about who is watching you. You're not worried. It's a very self-centered, nurturing self-governance within you that's guiding you. And the world supports it at some level, because either way it's going to support, right? But we don't have duality, we don't have conflict. So we have a lot of conflict where we are in the lower floors, and the conflict starts to just become lighter, lighter, easier, easier as we go up to the upper floors.
Doesn't this connect with the yin-yang, though, that the white, the center of it is black, the black, the center of it is white, so you have to have one to have the other.
Yeah, yeah. And yet when we just talk at the mind as thoughts and feelings, we can actually look at it that, because there's such strong belief systems, we have a very strong script inside, a moral code that we're not even aware of till we start to see it. There's a lot of prejudices, a lot of bias. Whether we like it or not, we all have a bias, because this is part of the human journey. And then our job is, so soul's promise, what is soul's promise to itself, right? What is human beings' promise to themselves? It is that I will get to the highest levels And then you can actually experience life and create it differently. Because here, you're just being pushed, pulled and pushed. Lower floors are just being pulled and pushed. So a lot of conflict, a lot of stress. But it's okay, because I think the journey is to actually blossom from, a seed into all of this, and through this into the bigger realms. So today we will do one technique just now, and we'll get a good sense of what we're talking about. We'll also, in the technique, we may actually see how you can affect your own health, your own positioning in different aspects, whether it's relationships, so we will see that truly, do you have the power to change reality, or are you just victim of what's showing up, right? So we will see it through this technique. So let us set feet grounded. Back should be straight. Get comfortable. Yeah, we can. So this light will be turned off from here. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's okay. I'll turn it on when it begins. Okay. So let us just back straight, spine straight. We're going to do this beautiful technique, recognizing our soul, recognizing our mind, our physicality. So shoulders are back. I'm very comfortable in my body right now. So should you be? Nice smile on the face. So just feel yourself, awareness of yourself, head to toe. You're sitting in this room. Everything is perfect. You have come with one and only one intention, which is to connect to your highest level, to the soul, and to draw down the power and deliver the promises you have made. Through thousands of years, you have been present in this vast consciousness. So that is your age, thousands and thousands and thousands years old. Nice deep breath. Now, I want you to imagine just the front lobe, so just the forehead region, that you're looking at it from inside, but you're sitting like you would look at a theater screen. But it's like a virtual screen, really vast. You're looking at it from inside. Eyes should not get stressed. There is no stress in pushing the focus. So very lightly, very relaxed, you're just looking at the screen that is in front of you. The screen is right now blank. There's nothing playing, no sound, no music. And I want you just to look at this screen quickly for a moment. Every time you start to think, I want you to just watch this blank screen. Now, I want you to focus on your heart. And breathe rhythmically. So what is rhythmic breathing? Inhale and exhale should be the same count. You can take short breaths, long breaths, but the count could be similar. And the breath is not jerky, so make it kind of smooth as butter, just flowing. So don't work hard at it as you keep the focus on the heart. And if it helps, you may want to put your right hand over the heart so you know exactly where you're breathing from. Heart has 5 times the power of the brain. A lot of electricity, a lot of power. That's why your feelings seem to be bigger than your thoughts. So as you breathe into this region, you'll start to become still. If your thoughts move, it's okay. Just bring them to the heart. With this breath, you are cleaning all the signals that are moving from entire body to the brain. Remember, the clearer the signals to the brain, the better it functions, the nervous system and all parts of the body. Messages, information, intuition travels at great speed, clearly, if your signals are coherent. This technique takes the slightest of the inner chaos and turns it into beautiful flow. You're doing very well. Great. I want you now to come back where you're looking at the mental screen. The screen is still blank. If you were to describe these feelings right now, they would be still. They would be more at peace than other times because your physiology, your physical self is right now still. So you can see how quiet the body is. Even if you have pain or ache or resistance in the physical body, it is lessening. It's a quiet, still body. So it is energy in motion, but in a flow. Energy is not restricted. So you feel at ease. Now, I want you to visualize or imagine a white feather on the screen. A white feather floating in space. I simply want you to gaze at this. Just watch this feather. Your gaze will hold it in space as long as you want it held there. You can move the feather to the left side of the screen, top left. Then bottom right. Then center. So you see how easily you can use your force. Call it the soul, the mind, the body force, to will something and to make it move. This is how you create reality. Now, I want you to imagine a chair or a place similar to where you're sitting, a seat, and project, almost see yourself there. So you're still sitting here, but you're able to watch the projection on the screen. That is the power of your force. You can create yourself in different spaces. So just watch you. You're not doing anything, just watching you. You can make you laugh just by intention. You can see that you're laughing. You can make you sad, angry, hurtful, even violent. But you can change that feeling, that movement, any time. This is your power. Now watch you walking in this space, maybe in a garden, maybe by the pond, by the river, by the ocean, anywhere at all. And watch how strong the body is. You can make it as strong as you want. So the limbs are strong, the muscles are strong, the cells are strong, clear-headed, arms moving, legs moving, very synchronized. Focused body, focused walk, focused movement. No aches, no pain. Strong body, strong-willed determination. You can see from the walk. You can make you walk up a mountain, climb a cliff, go down to the deepest ocean to swim, anything. You can project the power to change feelings, to choose, to select, to transform. The you are watching should have all these powers within. If in your body you have experienced previously any hurt, ache, any damage to the body, I want you to go back to the screen and see it absolutely whole and healed in the you that is on the screen. Clear the screen again, the mental screen, just a blank space. I want you to breathe rhythmically, go to the heart, and as we deepen our meditation, let us chant 3 times the sound of Om. In doing so, we will elevate our consciousness, increase the oxygen and dopamine in the brain. So let us do it with a nice deep breath each time, loud and clear. Breathe from the heart, focus on the heart. The master key to this technique is to come to the stillest point in your physiology, in the physical body. A still body has clear signals so you can recognize feelings because you have more awareness, and you can change them at will to serve your will. One more round of 3 ohms to station ourselves even deeper. It's a nice breath. Right. Breathing from the heart. Go back to the mental space. Watch the screen. The screen is blank. Nothing happening. Pure awareness. The mind is clear. There is so much awareness and stillness. More the stillness increases, more awareness you will experience. Watch again on the mental screen, you, this time communicating, talking, conversing with the world, people you know, you don't know. This is the whole power You is not in lack of anything. Words flow, inspiration flows, still mind. Able to use all the feelings, inspiration to communicate. No situation is a challenge, no obstacle a block, because you is equipped with this force, tremendous silent force. Mental screen becomes clear again. In closing, come back to the heart. Feel your body, mind. How weightless is this force? How big is this force? Three ohms in closing, starting now. Om. You can rub your hands and move your hands down the body 3 times. Fully present, fully awake. Okay. How was that?
The spotlight.
You're under the spotlight.
To answer questions.
Now you're fully awake. So did you notice the quietness, the stillness with the rhythmic breathing in the body?
It's really deep when you, each time taking it to the heart.
And the Om is very, very powerful. I don't know if you guys know, on Enlightened Global on YouTube, you will find the Om chant by there too. It really creates stillness instantly. It's really good, yeah. Also, it just increases the oxygen, the dopamine in the brain, so you feel lifted. And it's amazing how physiologically it affects, and it's a great advantage, you know. It just clears a lot of things, the mind and the focus. So we saw there are 2 things we did. We stilled the body with the heart breathing. We made it very still each time we repeated the sound. Then we went into the mental space, and you saw how easy it was to project. This is where you can go. You can make things, you can create whatever sketches, whatever you want. It's like a drawing of life. You can draw anything. You can see the you doing that, whatever you're thinking, make it in that, and then back into the blank space, back into the heart. So the stillness keeps your clarity intact, and the body signals coherent. If your body is not still, you get very mixed signals. So you noticed in this technique, we could not tell the difference. What is the soul? What is the mind? What is the body? Where is the force? We didn't know. It seemed one big force, right? Because we had reached the upper floors, so to say. And how easy it was to just create a reality. You can try this with any pain, any confusion. You can see the clarity there. And in 24 hours or a few hours later, you're experiencing yourself differently, because that is the will we have. If we have the power to change our feelings, we can change our destinies, because most of us get trapped. We don't think we have options. We're always in situations. I'm going to mention something else. That situations sometimes that look like obstacles and or challenges are also created by our own self to go higher, just to climb higher. Also, when we have joint destinies, we're in this whole space of karma, action, reaction. So everything we do is affecting, tilting something else. So, what do we want as souls? Our identification is so important. What do we want as the pure mind, as pure body, as pure soul? We just want to create a reality that fits the humanity and the earth planet. We cannot be absent in our mind thinking I is just me, right? So you and me and we're affecting everything. We're affecting in our micro ways the macro. So this automatically takes you to that. Your choices are different. Your expression is different. So the technique is very powerful. It's been blended by us just to suit the human organism. So we've created aspects of it through our own experimentation. Inder and I have worked for years on optimizing the techniques so we could offer where people could experience themselves, their self, very quickly and fast. And you saw how quickly it worked. So I'll take any question or any reflection at all. But before that, what is the time, Christine?
8:14.
Okay, so we have a few minutes. We'll close in a few minutes. So we can take, is there anything that you want to comment or you felt or?
Well, I felt felt really good. Felt kind of lighter on the top end, but then my hands and stuff are very heavy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I really like this meditation. It felt
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's just been developed, this meditation. So you saw how forceful it was. The body was still and grounded, very grounded.
I felt the heat in my hands. And
Yeah. Yeah,
Whereas this part,
Yeah.
it was being lifted.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
so if we took a measure of the blood pressure and pulse, it would be different in the state. Within minutes, it would change, right? And then you saw how there was so much lightness. Usually, we always say, oh, I've got a headache, I've got stress, all of that is here. Now you saw how easily you actually opened up this frontal lobe, entire lobe, where it is so important for us to keep it clear. So this is our screen, this is our space, and this is where we create. And you saw how light it was, So you can actually play with it. You can go back on an empty screen, go back to the heart, do your own. Then you can go back and whatever you want to project, you want to create, you create it on the screen. See that as happening, and then come back to the stillness of the body. So you only are creating when you want to be in that creative space. Otherwise, your mental screen should be blank, absolutely just space. So that is your stillest point, yeah. So,
What if you have problems kind of visualizing?
yeah,
something?
you would just see that yourself there. You would see the problem solved, or you're solving it, or help coming in. Whatever you want to do, you do on that screen. See the outcome happened. It's good. It's happening. It's taken care of. And don't worry who will come, how will. When you created your intention with the stillest point, it manifests itself.
But if you have trouble visualizing
Yeah.
that?
No, you just, if you, your whatever your difficult situation is, you simply just, you may go back and just see it, it's corrected. It's done, you've taken care of it. You've maybe had help, spend few minutes, you're absolutely free. You're just light as space, come back. And let us see what occurs, yeah. Because the body signals are strong, your intuition will be really strong, and your power to take action right time in that space will be a lot more. So we'll see how that you manifest that too. Yeah. It's not a vision, it's working with the self. It's within the self. You're taking part of yourself. It's just all going within. It's not out there. Yeah, it's all still you're in the body. Full in the body, fully present. Yeah. How was it, Randy?
I kind of would keep it blank, so I wasn't having all kinds of visions or whatever, because I just kept going from blank to heart, back and forth.
Yes.
And until we did the last home, then I just sort of had a vision of girl that was sad, and then she changed to happy, and then it ended. So it was,
Okay.
but at the same time, it was really, really deep, so that my upper body was almost, moving, especially because I kneel.
Yes,
So
yes.
you're not foot grounded that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And so all of a sudden it feels like
Yeah.
you're circling, and then you'll give a command and you go.
Yeah, yeah. So you saw the light space, you saw the open space, and you saw the force, and yet it's quiet and stuff.
It's very quiet.
Yeah, yeah. So these are, in this particular technique, we've just got so many different aspects of it. And it's just a gentle movement, but very forceful. And it's all aspects of the self, of multidimensional come together. Yeah, we don't need to understand. It's just do it simply, play with it. Next week we'll carry forward. We can go into another dimension, but this needs to be a great practice because it takes 2 minutes any time of the day to just go to the heart, and just your job is simply to keep the body still. And what will do that? The heart.
But I find sometimes when I concentrate on the heart and try to breathe into the heart that there's a pain.
Okay, so breathe from the chest. You don't have to. Heart is just symbolic. You can just breathe from the chest. Yeah. So don't go to the physical organ. Just go around this area and just breathe from the center, because it's the largest, the most powerful organ. So you want to breathe from this. So very quickly, because your joints, your muscles, everything is sending multiple signals to the brain. And we want the signals to be very clear and the body to be still. So that's why we breathe from here, yeah. But if this is corrected, half the job is done. The other part, technique, where we can keep growing and developing in that soul space.
So if I didn't see the force today, like I didn't feel that I saw the force.
Yes.
But, so that's something that I could get with practice.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Many Star Wars movies.
Yeah. So just still the body. And the more still it becomes, the more your creativity rises, awareness rises, the more the powers rise. In a still body, in a stressed body, we can't rise above. We can't even think. What happens in stress is that the front lobe gets tightened and blocked, an overwhelmed feeling. I can't think.
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
So this meditate for you, it would be great to just experience nothing happening on the screen, just clear space for even a week.
On
Yeah.
your ohms, are you breathing through the chest or belly breathing? Does it
I'm
matter?
just breathing from the chest. I don't have to go to the belly. If just focus, keep the focus here, whichever way it lands. Yeah. In yogic breathing, they'll breathe from the belly, but I'd say just focus on the chart, on the heart, wherever it goes will be fine. Yeah.
I thought that was
Almost
a bit-
more about creating that vibration
Yeah.
in the body, right? With
Yeah.
sound.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just,
I just found that I tried it both ways and it was easier through the chest.
Yeah.
The chest is
Yeah.
easier. Yeah.
Whereas normally I can
Yeah.
breathe
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
way.
just feel the vibration of that sound.
Yeah.
And like whole body's vibrating in that sound. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
it's
found
a,
it was kind of fooling me though, because like all of a sudden I heard it from over here, like the guys' voices, and I thought it must have been Rajna's husband or something.
Yeah.
came in, and I was surprised there was nobody sitting over there.
no.
It's
Yeah.
tricking. I don't know.
It's actually really amazing as to what is in our space and how we perceive that space. Yeah, it's really amazing because you get to see things so differently that people may be there, they may not be there, because we're not what we think we are. We're not just like gelled cells. Cells are not gelled, not glued together. They're just loose energy. Mind everywhere, minds. It's only mind, only space, only mind. And this is just the play of the highest level, different levels of mind that we experience today. And the highest level we can call the upper levels, the soul space, the soul mind, whatever. But those are just terminology.
So do you think you can, you say in 2 minutes, so we don't have to do the brain, left brain, right brain and all that
You
stuff?
can do the Dharan Kriya, that left brain, right brain, the meditation that we do with rainbow colors. You can intermittently do that. You can do the blue miracle. And you can, this is just 2 minutes here, where, everywhere. Sitting in a car, sitting on the toilet, anywhere, everywhere. This is just to still. And those are also detailed. They are in nice, intense meditations, which take you deep. So as you intuitively feel, you bring them into. Yeah. It just increases. It'll just be fast forward. Because the more you focus, the more you do the Dharan Kriya, the more you develop this way. All these techniques are developing you vertically, right? Because no knowledge can go with you where your soul can take you. All the knowledge, all those belief systems, mental knowings, mental likes, dislikes, remain in the ground floors. So idea is to think clearly, to think vertically, yeah? Okay, so we will close today, yeah, and then we will meet again next week, and thank you for joining. And thank you, everybody who's been joining us from anywhere. So if there's questions, please let us know. We've shared a very powerful technique today, and we hope that you will experience that, share that, spread that, so we get into a world of still beings, powerful beings, where we are using our force to be the best souls, to be at our highest levels of performance. Thank you.